But please give a huge round of applause for the game changers, the ones that are changing the marketing world with RCS.
Thank you, Dario. It's a huge honor to be here. We're extremely excited. The first post-pandemic in-person conference. Our last one was where we presented the first RCS, global RCS campaigns for big brands, Disney and McDonald's. That was the last in-person conference. That was Mobile World Congress in Los Angeles, and the first one here with the MEF, with Google. And I'm extremely honored today to also have an incredible partner on my side, PhD, one of the, Wayne Bishop from PhD, the global business lead for Unilever, because the time has come that some of the biggest brands in the world, and Unilever is among the top 5 brands, are starting to embrace SMS with us, with PhD, and we've just finished 4 amazing campaigns, RCS campaigns, really literally last night. The results are fresh off the press for 4 big Unilever brands. And I believe that shows us that RCS is now here to stay and ready to capture what our ambition is, 15% of global digital advertising spend by 2028.
Yeah, I would just say that when Unilever is a big mover in the marketing space, so when they jump on the bandwagon or the back of a new technology like RCS, it's something to look at. So we'll show you a couple of campaigns in a second.
Thank you so much, Wayne. So I haven't said who I am. I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of Out There Media. We are the leading telco-driven mobile advertising or digital advertising player. We're working closely with the world's leading telcos, bridging the gap between telcos, MNOs, carriers, and brands and agencies with our technology, Mobux, in the middle. And the latest addition to the mix is RCS, and you all know PhD as well.
So we're part of the Omnicom group. It's the second largest advertising group in the world. And PhD does around about $10 to $12 billion in advertising every year. So humbled and privileged actually to touch so many lives with our clients' advertising, but also we're responsible for quite a lot. So it can be pretty daunting.
Okay, so let's jump right in. We only have, as we heard, now probably another 8 minutes. What you're going to see now is a teaser of what we're going to analyze in depth tomorrow in our session in the afternoon. So we're jumping right in with what came hot and fresh off the press, a massive Knorr campaign. That one is running, in fact, until last night in Nigeria for MTN Nigeria on the backbone. Of course, there's Google and .go. And here is how the experience goes. So the verified sender Knorr is reaching out to females 18 to 40, socioeconomic class A and B. So we know that because we have opted in users of who we know, their age, their gender, their location, their handset type, their operating system, and how much money they spend on their phone bill. So that's very important. That's an existing audience here with our partner MTN, biggest telco in the country. Knorr, change the world, change what's on your plate, eat for good, and then a video starts to play as part of your RCS experience. When you tap on it, and then of course the famous carousel experience, here using what is called, this one is Vodacom South Africa, Nigeria is the next one. This is the plate.
This is called, I'll give you some background to this. So the food revolution hasn't really been quiet. It's been a sort of 15, 20 years bubbling around the world, and everything from Los Angeles to Sydney to London to Paris. You can't go anywhere without seeing amazing food recipes and fusions and things like that, and that is true for pretty much everywhere that you go. Since the pandemic, though, there's been a real health slant to that. So the recipes coming out are more about what's good for your body and what you put in your body. Now, what Knorr in South Africa do is they have a campaign called Plate of the Nation, and it's about getting taking ownership of the conversation around everything that you put into your body. And effectively what they're trying to do is marry three things. Culture, so you have something called 7 colors dinner. That's to make sure that you have 7 colors of foods in your dinner. That is seen to be traditionally very nutritious for you, so that's culture. Then nutrition, so getting the value of foods and the right nutrients into your body. And then sustainability. So what Knorr has done is it's made a lot more of its seasonings and sauces more sustainably farmed, and so a lot of them are plant-based. And so when you combine these three things, that's a lot to tell the consumer. And it's really difficult to put an advert in front of the consumer to get all of that in, culture, nutrition, and all these things together. So what we've been trying over the last couple of years is, of course, we've been running tons and tons of advertising in front of the consumer, but we're not really moving the dial in terms of what people understand about what Knorr is doing, particularly in the sustainability space. So we started to relook the way that we run media. Instead of focusing on reach, which is the primary driver of growth in marketing, or has been, we now look at attention. And some of you in the room that work in marketing would have been exposed to Lumen and Amplified Intelligence attention-based metrics. And what they do is they work out a metric called attention-based seconds, or how many attentive seconds that you have with a piece of marketing real estate. And our job now as media practitioners is to make sure that attention is really, really high, and it really matters. So a TV advert, that is about 7.2, 7.4 seconds of attention. A Facebook advert, that's about 2.1 seconds of attention. In fact, 95% of Unilever's ads that run on digital media are missed. They are not seen. Or they may be seen, but there's no attention. So then you go all the way down to a banner advert. Those are those banner ads you might see on your phones or on your PCs. That has 0.1 seconds of attention. So it's really important that you optimize your plan for attention. And where we think RCS is so powerful is you take the plate of the nation creative that we're running here. We've got a lot to do. We've got to talk about culture, we've got to talk about nutrition, we've got to talk about sustainability, and we've got to make people aware and attentive to this. So what this experience does is it gives you access to the video communication, which is a lot more attention, plus then the carousel at the bottom, which actually gets you to scroll. Unilever call that thumb-stopping creative, because you're always scrolling through things. So what RCS does for marketers, and for Unilever in particular, is it picks up and packages all these things that we need to achieve, from the fusion of all those elements I mentioned to the experience, and then ultimately to high attention.
Beautiful. So very important. Here today, 2 new types of metrics that are important for one of the biggest advertisers in the world. That is attention-based seconds, instead of talking about CTR and these types of things, because that's just one outcome of attention, and thumb-stopping creatives. And that is what RCS is doing here for Unilever. The brief here was increase of brand awareness, increase of, obviously, attention, but drive to e-commerce, which is extremely important for Unilever. So when you click on more, you go on a more detailed landing page here, what's for dinner, or you saw it before, the buy now takes you to the leading e-commerce site. So driving e-commerce take a lot in South Africa. And now the results, 43% engagement rate, and you heard what Wayne said just now. TV, average attention was 7 seconds, Facebook social 2.1, and average banner 0.1 seconds. Here we're looking at 19 seconds of attention-based value. And that's the new currency. And that is what I encourage all of us to use in the world of RCS going forward.
So it's super important, because now what we're doing is we're buying data from our partners, like Kerstin and her team. We're buying this information and we're building them into the way that we construct our marketing plans. And then what that means is that I'm always going to aim for reach. I'm always going to try and reach as many people in my target audience as possible. But now I'm going to adjust that to attention. So we have a new currency that we use internally at PhD called attention adjusted reach. And it is often a lot bigger focus on effectiveness than efficiency. Problem with the media world these days is that everything's about getting that cost to deliver that reach as low as possible. The problem is your opportunity cost on that is attention. You can't have highly efficient plans without giving back something. So attention adjusted reach is now the new currency, And RCS, I think, has got huge potential to deliver on it, as you saw from the results.
And what you're going to see tomorrow in more detail are the other campaigns that we just finished. So that's Dove on Vodacom. That is Close Up, again, a Unilever brand toothpaste, as well as Pepsodent toothpaste. How we did it there, what the attention was there, and how people engaged with those brands across South Africa and Nigeria is what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So I'm not going to give away the results yet. As well as we're going to quickly show you what we've done together with the World Health Organization. We ran the biggest COVID campaign. Many of you in the room know about it. Biggest COVID campaign in the world, biggest COVID messaging campaign in the world, but also the famous Lion King and famous Lion King and McDonald's RCS campaigns, and what we're currently doing with movies such as Doctor Strange, Dumbledore, and more. So to be continued tomorrow. And also, after lunch, we have a little RCS Refresh booth out there where you can actually order your drinks, wines and beers and soft drinks, over our RCS bot, and a real-time RCS interactive experience where the waiter's coming out 30 seconds later to bring you your drink. Thank you so much, Wayne. I think it's a breakthrough, a game changer the industry has been waiting for, that we have one of the biggest agencies in the room, media agencies, as well as one of the biggest brands, Unilever, in the room here today.
Thanks,
Thank you
everyone.
very much.